Welcome back to the channel. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Dyad Reacts. And today we got some news. We are talking about the hashtag release the George sequel trilogy. We're gonna get some thoughts. As always, I have my Dyad Element 7 here, and let's talk about it right now on Dyad Reacts.
So if you didn't live under a rock this week, you saw that there was some huge waves caused in social media sphere with the hashtag release the Lucas sequel trilogy trending after the huge success of the Snyder Cut, and it is causing quite the ruckus. But I am here with my Dyad Darth Chaco to react to such news. Now, I've already provided a healthy dose of my reaction to it, but I would love to hear his. So this is another episode of Dyad Reacts.
Yeah. So if you have not seen it already, please head over to Element 7's YouTube channel. There is a video where he kind of has an open letter. It's beautifully stated, and I love it. It's excellent. Please check it out. But I wanted to do a video where I kind of talk about it and we kind of share our feelings on it. Now, we both did see the Snyder Cut, which is kind of the catalyst of all this. And just real quick, I'm curious your thoughts on the Snyder Cut and in general, just broad strokes.
Broad strokes, I largely enjoyed it because I'm a huge character-driven person, and I always appreciate movies that take the time to explore their characters, especially when we didn't have that to begin with, especially in the DCEU. But I have some stylistic preferences and stylistic disagreements with Snyder, but on the whole, the movie was largely successful for me. It provided all of the story that I needed, and it was enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It provided a lot of extra context. I think it still could have been trimmed down some.
Absolutely. But I think I said in my video that it was borderline audiobook.
No, that's really astute. Although it has made me want to take up ancient lamentation yelling. But that being said, it was a very unique circumstance that came together to make this possible. The fact that Zack Snyder had largely completed the film, had done the vast majority of his shooting already, largely had the story. It was a family tragedy that interrupted him continuing the story. And so we ended up having someone else step in. Plus, there was a lot of studio interference, yada, 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 that gave birth to this as a possibility because there was a lot of things shot that were never used. And one of the reactions I've been seeing to this is there are now people who are planning to boycott watching the Batman, the Matt Reeves Batman film. And I'm curious on your thoughts on that.
Yeah, this is a horrible precedent that has been set. We already have a problem in all kinds of fandoms with entitlement, right? And whenever you cave or whenever you capitulate to the fans on creative choices or story choices, you kind of give the loudest voices more power. And when I say loudest voices, I mean, to an extent, not everybody feels the same way. And so there are people out there who did not enjoy the Snyder Cut. And for them now, I mean, just like based on sentiment, the Snyder Cut is the movie that's going to, replace the canon, so to speak. And it's creating the same problem across boycotting Matt Reeves' Batman, to releasing the Ayer cut to releasing the Lucas sequels. I mean, it really is a strange situation for the Snyder cut, but also a terrible precedent has been set.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Again, I did enjoy the movie, but what I enjoyed more than the movie was some of the other projects that we've gotten inside of the DCEU, and a lot of it is definitely going to create conflicts and issues and things like that. But more importantly, it's not a one-to-one like comparison. You can't. There is no George Lucas sequel trilogy. There's no George Lucas cut. We do know a bit about what George Lucas had planned that ultimately didn't get moved forward with, and a lot of the elements that the people who dislike the sequel trilogy really dislike are all included.
Yes.
Isn't that fascinating?
It is fascinating, but it's not surprising that this is unknown. Because there's a huge problem with misinformation and just like this spinning of a narrative within the fandom that is driving the focus less on the quality of the content and more on the people in it. And of course, those channels out there whose business model revolves around a news cycle featuring Kathleen Kennedy getting fired, civil war at Lucasfilm, and just like kind of sowing seeds of division across the board instead of paying attention to the projects. Like we have, despite those rumors, or despite that, the Charlotte's Web of deceit and hatred within Lucasfilm that's tearing themselves apart, we're getting more than 10 projects incoming for Star Wars. And a lot of people are excited about them. But, just like with the High Republic show host, with the High Republic videos that are coming out, people are engaging with those videos and with these people in bad faith. They have no desire to consume this media in good faith. They don't want to read the books, but they're spreading, sentiments out there. Oh, the High Republic is SJW garbage. It's trash. And I've had conversations with people who don't enjoy some of these books, and that's perfectly valid. But if all you're doing is coming from a place of hatred, and you're just there to downvote the videos and there to copy paste negative comments, it's a horrible place to be in the fandom for sure.
Wait. So let me get this straight. You're saying that I can't be critical of anything that I watch. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I'm just kidding. No, that's not what I'm saying. And I do have to make this known, or this has to be like a disclaimer, unfortunately, that you have to, post when you're being positive or when you're being, I guess, decent is, and this is a problem with a lot of fandoms, right? If you like something and if you're able to acknowledge its flaws, but then still like it, you're a shill. And I need to, or a sequel defender in this case. And I need to make it known, need to make it clear that The Last Jedi may be my second favorite and still is Chaco's number one favorite.
Yep, number one.
It does not mean we're sequel lovers or defenders.
My least favorite trilogy.
It is. Well, I rank differently in terms of tiers, and so like, my like placement of these films is largely the best to least best in order of one from each trilogy. So I don't have one that stacks above the rest, but to be called a sequel defender, sequel lover, when my top three is not either like the sequels, prequels, or the originals. It's just movies that I enjoyed the most. And then it goes down from there to the ones that I least enjoy, but that doesn't mean I hate them.
Yeah.
But the central idea is that you can critique these films, you can acknowledge their flaws and still love them. You don't. It's counterproductive to languish in the hate and think that you're holding Lucasfilm accountable and you're going to be, the vehicle for positive change when all you're doing is just lambasting anything that comes your way that's Star Wars and it doesn't agree with you. And botting these High Republic videos, like they're gonna look at it and be like, you know what, these guys probably they have a point.
I mean, the honest truth is they're going to look at it and say, oh, we can't trust any of these results. So steady the course, I guess, because none of these results have anything to do with the project. It's actually hurting their own vision. But that's a whole side topic. Where I kind of come down on this is a lot of the issues, the majority of the issues in our community right now stem from trying to really, devalue either, a part of Star Wars. It is Star Wars. It's all Star Wars, right? And if you are going after a part of it, then it could be going after a character you don't like, or a movie you don't like, or a trilogy you don't like, or fans of those things. Now, no one is saying that you can't dislike it. No one's saying that you can't say that you dislike it. Right? But if your goal is to devalue the property, that's gatekeeping territory right there. So that's where the difference is. I have many friends that have very different lists than mine. Most of them. That's why I actually love talking in this positive Star Wars community, because all of our views are so different, and yet we can all come together and have these amazing conversations. I think asking for this to be cut, which in and of itself is not a bad idea, and in and of itself is not toxic, but it does make a further way to try and devalue the sequels. And considering what we've seen, that's exactly what it's gonna serve. If it has people trying to not watch Matt Reeves' the Batman film that everyone was super excited for just months ago, and the people making this project are not in any way affiliated with any. This is a prequel. This isn't even related to the DC universe at large. It's so weird and random. This is the type of thing that we need to step past in our fandom.
Yeah, and a lot of people forget that, these things are a lot of people's livelihoods. It's their careers. The people that worked on the sequels, that worked on Justice League, and that work on Batman, it's their jobs. Their ADs, their PAs, their a lot of, like, costume department. Everyone has a job to do, and whenever you go out there with like a hashtag alternate cut or something, or hashtag reshoot, it's disrespectful to them. And whenever you go out there with a sentiment that is against one singular person, and I'll use Kathleen Kennedy as an example, it's just like you're using your hatred for one person to completely invalidate an entire group of workers who worked on those films. And you're disrespecting Carrie Fisher's legacy, who can no longer reshoot anything. And so, let's say we do bring back Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford for a supposed sequel cut with Lucas. What does that even look like without Carrie Fisher? And a lot of people were talking about, it would be disrespectful to write her out of the third sequel. So what, are we now going to, just for the sake of the sequel cut, like just fully CG Leia? How does that play out?
And what's even further than that, and I don't know, the thing I think is dumb, I'm just gonna say it's dumb, is why not wish for more Star Wars?
Yeah.
Like I I have another thing that I have seen is people wanting to recreate Revenge of the Sith with the Clone Wars animation. I think it's crazy to want to redo a project that we already have.
Yeah.
Why not take that animation and tell Vader 2017? You know what I mean? Like, or not necessarily that story exactly, but the rise of Darth Vader. Because you could have this movie and something else. Like, why just retell the same thing multiple times in multiple different ways? I think that is also just crazy because there's so many things that we would want to see in this universe. Like, you know, I mean, hashtag Corky Kenobi. I'm not a big fan of it myself, but
I'm brought back to a time where, you know, the sentiment was largely around hating the fact that they removed EU and placed it in a bucket called Legends. And a lot of people forget, and we keep on saying to this day, that EU was never canon. So it's kind of like that time when everyone was mad at Disney for doing that and, you know, saying that they didn't have thousands of pages of source material, which they didn't because Lucas didn't consider them canon. And so now, if we think about it, guys, now really, really think about it, Disney has canonized a lot more Legends in EU than it was ever canon. So think about it, like it was never canon, right? So just like putting Thrawn in Rebels was already above the bar in terms of canonizing Legends. So we're getting so many Legends with Disney, and oh my gosh, it's, you know, they now have thousands of pages of source material to pull from. So let's see some Star Wars from those stories.
Absolutely. Dirge was just brought into canon. It's something. I mean, I keep using the word fascinating, but I do find it fascinating how hatred, and it's something we learn in Star Wars, hatred stops people from thinking straight. It does. You know, you can't be acting out of hatred and be level-headed at the same time. It's just not possible. So I see people
Grey
mad.
Jedi is not canon.
I see people mad at Kathleen Kennedy for Disney Star Wars. But Kathleen has always been part of Lucasfilm, not Disney. Yes. But Jon Favreau is going to save us. But Jon Favreau has been part of Disney for over a decade. I see people who, Palpatine coming back ruins Anakin's fall to the dark. But they also want to bring Grey Jedi, which ruins Anakin's fall to the... If he could just... I can do this stuff and just not be bad? Oh, why wouldn't he just do that? Like, that absolutely invalidates his fall. I see people, I don't know, it jumps back and forth. No, they got rid of the expanded universe, which actually conflicted a lot, and they never considered canon. And then Disney brings more things into canon than it's ever been before. But it's not enough. But I have people like, oh, well, Disney makes so many changes to canon, it's hard to keep it straight.
Oof. They never read Legends.
There's the only the only thing that's ever changed in canon under Disney is two things: Ahsoka's lightsaber colors in the Book of Ahsoka, and Rey meeting Poe at the end of The Force Awakens. He got moved back a movie. That's it. That's one of the things that's changed. I know it's funny to me. I think we should have more Star Wars, not less. I think we should accept that other people may like things that we don't like, but appreciate the projects that are aimed squarely at us, and not seek. If you think that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are saving Star Wars with The Mandalorian, that's awesome. That means that you are the target demographic of what they're doing. But to try to actively go out of your way to remove items that other people enjoy is wrong. That is wrong. It is it is like I'm trying to think of like an apt example, but it's like, there's a record label and a band you like, but there's another band that you don't like, and you want them off of the label, and you're like, why? Don't listen to them. I don't know what to tell you. Just move on. It's done.
Just like there are countless fans who prefer Legends, and it's still there. It's nothing. It's not doing anything to you.
It's still there. So I don't know. Overall, I think that. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I think that if you could retool George Lucas's ideas into something that fits into canon, I would love to see that explored in a comic.
Luke Skywalker show?
Yeah. Or bring Luke back. Bring Lucas back to work on a Luke show.
Yeah.
Or something. Why try to take something away from someone else? It's crazy to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I just want to say one last thing, and you can close it off. I got a comment on the video I did, the open letter to Star Wars Theory, and he said that it's clear that Lucasfilm is going downhill because the sequels were garbage, and Star Wars Theory is just trying to critique and hold them accountable. And it's tough for me to qualify that statement because, well, yeah, it may be your personal opinion that the sequels were garbage and that Lucasfilm is going downhill. But
that's not an opinion. It's not going downhill.
And that's exactly why I find it difficult to qualify that statement, because there is The Mandalorian. There's fans of The Mandalorian, fans of the sequel trilogy, fans that are excited for Obi-Wan Kenobi, excited for Acolyte, excited for Book of Boba Fett, excited for Season 3 Mandalorian, excited for all of this Star Wars content that's coming down the pipeline in the next 3 years, and they're going downhill. Like, make no mistake, Kathleen Kennedy is very much a part of The Mandalorian, and to think that to remove her from the project is just only serving your biases. You cannot blame her for something you dislike and remove her from something you like. She's the president of Lucasfilm. She's EP on all of these things. She's going to be the EP on Obi-Wan Kenobi, too. And I don't know. It's hard to see this Lucasfilm machine going downhill with all of these projects that everyone's excited for.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. No, I feel like this has been largely negative as a post, so I do want to end it with some positivity. I will say for both Element and myself, so excited for what is to come. We've seen a lot of really awesome things so far, and we're gonna see more as time goes forward. And oh, wait a second, where that shirt come from?
Have you not seen this shirt?
I have not seen that shirt.
I am no Jedi. It's from TeePublic. It's just go to teepublic.com, search Ahsoka. They got some rad designs on there. I particularly love this one with the cross sabers and the I am no Jedi part, but yeah.
Some swag. Yeah, there's a lot of amazing things. There's a bright future for Star Wars, and it really comes down to having two possibilities. Either you don't want any more than we've already gotten. I get it. That's okay. You don't have to see more than we've gotten, you know? I know people that hate Rebels, for instance. They don't ever want to watch Rebels. They hate the animation style. They think it's for kids. Awesome. If it's maybe it is for kids. Kids can watch it. You don't have to watch it. And so I'm excited to get to a point in the future where we have a whole bunch of amazing projects aimed at a diverse group of people, so that you can see what you want to see. You don't have to see what you don't want to see. The best thing I can equate it to is DC. I love DC. I love Batman. There's some amazing movies and animated movies and stuff like that. I don't like Batwoman, the show. I fell off Arrow. It's okay.
Yeah. I never got into it. I fell off of the Arrowverse entirely after Crisis, but I never got into Batwoman.
Which is, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I feel I may not be the target demographic.
Are you saying you can't critique it though?
I don't have the wherewithal to tweak it. I don't want to watch it. I would have to watch it to have a fair opinion of it, you know? So I watch the ones that I want to watch. And I am excited to get to a future where we have so much Star Wars that you pick and choose the projects that you like and you watch them. I think that's where we're heading, and it's a wonderful place.
You know what? Just at the end of the day, find some voices to uplift. You don't have to like the sequels, and you don't have to worry about people who do. Just make sure that you're not trying to invalidate them, and vice versa. If people don't like the sequels, try not to ruffle some feathers and shove the sequels into their face. But yeah, it's all about promoting, you know, differences of opinion, but uplifting positivity and healthy celebration of Star Wars. We don't want any segment of people to feel left out or isolated or ostracized from the franchise that they love. Just be kind to each other, be excellent to each other, and just love Star Wars again.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. There's so much to enjoy. There's so much to like. I've been having so much fun talking to people, being able to meet you, be part of this awesome community. And it's great. It's relaxing. It is just, it's just wonderful. We'd be honored if you would join us. So just love what you love.
Absolutely. Public Discord link will be in the description. Join us.
Or die.
You know, yeah.
or live.
That's
up to you. That's more up to you.
I think that's isn't that like a Craig Ferguson reference? Join or die.
I don't know, but it's a reference to the late 90s Star Wars rap that was on YouTube back in the day. But yeah, I look forward to the future. It is bright. Well, yeah, thank you for talking with me. I want to talk about this because it's been popping up. I've been being asked this question a lot in my comments, so I wanted to make sure that I addressed it as best I could. So
absolutely.
All right, and with that, we will wrap up. On to the next one. And may the Force be with you always.